the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bond and AJ Applegarth.
Touchdown! All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, as usual, AJ Applegarth. What's going on, man?
Hi, happy football day.
I'm excited, man. Football's back.
I am.
We made it.
I'm just not. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. But yes. Yes.
We made it.
It's here. It is happening. College football obviously already started. Now we have real NFL football. So yes, it is a good day to be alive. So
we are nearing halftime of the Ravens Chiefs. It is Chiefs 13, Ravens 7. Mr. Derrick Henry started off our scoring with a touchdown. So happy to see that. I've been kind of pumping him up all year. As when they get there, man, they're going to give this guy the rock and happen right away. So I'm happy to see that. So, all right, man. So while we are here, before we jump into things, just want to remind everybody, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave those reviews. We appreciate it. And guys, the season just started. What's going on, Albert? Season just started. There's a lot of fantasy football still left to be played. If you are not already an All Access member, please jump over to fantasysixpack.net/plans and become an All Access member. You're going to get access to our award-winning rankings every week, the DFS and weekly projections, all the DFS content from Dave Eddy, Chris Robin, Keith Fleming. We've got tons of betting content. We brought in over the Parlay Fantasy guys, Shane, Matt, and Jason. We've still got Mike Tomlin hanging around doing his betting stuff. Tons and tons of content there for you guys to enjoy. And best of all, you get to jump over into our Discord and you get access to those members-only channels where you can ask all of us your custom league questions, which honestly, that's the best part about it. Like, you get that, like, you know, nitty-gritty, detailed advice you need for your teams. So, yeah, man. So I think that's it. You want to just rock and roll into this? So we're going to be jumping into our what?
I said, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we're just going to be rocking and rolling right into our typical weekly format that we did last year. We might change it up every now and then this year, depending on what's going on. But for now, we're going to stick with Old Faithful, and it's going to be some start-sit scenarios that our producer Mike LaPlante came up with to kind of give you a little sneak peek into my rankings and, you know, kind of how me and AJ are kind of thinking about this week's slate of games. So, Mike, you've got the floor, man. Let's have at it.
I've missed football, guys. It's fun to be back. But
sound like the last puppy dog at
I'm sincerely happy.
At the shelter that's just like, come on, man. Like,
we got a great matchup on right now, Chiefs Ravens. I mean, what more can you be, excited for? Tomorrow's the Green Bay Packers against the Eagles.
Yeah, tomorrow's the real season start where me and
yeah, that's right.
Right.
We're enemies. We're enemies this week, AJ.
Right. Okay, so you guys wanted me to rant. Here we go. Rant number 1, day 1 of the season. Sorry, it's happening. Enough with the extra football games. Enough. I want a break. It was cool. Like, I loved it when football was like once a week, twice a week. It felt like it was special. Now it's every freaking day of the week. Stop it. I'm tired of it. I can't watch it every single day. I'm not a 22-year-old single man. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, I miss so much football now because it's just impossible to watch it all. I know tomorrow, AJ, you're excited because it's the Eagles, but like, if this were any other game, like, you probably would not make it a priority to watch.
I would.
Am I wrong?
And I mean, the fact that it's a Friday night, like it's just. I mean, I get it. Oh, we're bringing it back to the Friday Night Lights. Yeah, these are grown ass men. They don't care about like high school football stuff
I'm so
anymore.
done with this,
It's like, and it's not like, hey, we're playing at home. No, the Eagles lose a freaking home game by having to travel 9 hours plus to Brazil to play down there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's not even in America.
And the Packers, same boat. It's like they lose
That's right.
a
What I like
game, but it's just
like it.
really far away. So yeah, like I don't know. I'm excited.
Hey,
for
AJ,
that
let
game.
me
come on.
add
It
some fuel on Joe's
started
fire.
with the Thanksgiving like Friday after the Black Friday games.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that was.
come on, man. Like I'm so over this. I just I want to enjoy my holiday weekend. Not have to worry about like, oh man, I gotta, of course now because I have to set rankings. It's like it's more work. So that's another reason why I don't want to do it. But like, it's also I just can't really carve out that much time every single week. Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Friday, sometimes Sunday. Like I'm done. Just stop.
Just like those Black Friday games, this Friday game is going to be exclusively only shown on Peacock. How does that make you feel, Joe?
Dude, don't get me on that one. We done. Let's move on. We could be here for an hour.
You don't want to make it rant number 2?
Yeah.
No, we could be here for an hour if I just talk about all the different streaming options and how unnecessary they are. But let's go.
All right. Let's get you arguing about rankings. First one, quarterbacks here. Joe, you got Tua Tagovailoa against the Jaguars or the rookie Jayden Daniels at the Buccaneers? Who you got?
Oh. Am I going first or is AJ going first?
You're going first. I said you, buddy.
You're going me? All right. I am. I don't know. Should I like tease it first? What am I doing here? So, all right. I'll preface this. Tua is the safer option. He's got a pretty nice matchup. He's got elite weapons to throw to, elite running backs, all in his favor. But I'm going Jayden Daniels. And it's not because I'm wearing the Commander's hat. It is because I
it's definitely
wholeheartedly believe that Jayden Daniels is going to run for like 80 yards and a touchdown this week. Like they don't have an offense around him. If they're going to do anything, he's just going to have to run. It's going to be him and McLaurin.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like what else are they going to do? So I just think I'm going Daniels with the rushing upside.
I mean, for me, I agree with your points on that, but I think I'm leaning towards Tua. These two are really close for me. Just basically for the sake of you, like you said.
Did you put your own comment on the screen?
I absolutely did. I didn't want to interrupt AJ like you.
Nice. Well, you just did, but that's awesome. Anyway, so like you said, Tua definitely the safer option. Jacksonville's defense, they're okay. Tampa definitely has a stingier defense, in my opinion, especially like comparatively for the teams, because we're not really seeing a lot of offensive weapons, like you mentioned as well. For Daniels, it's really him, McLaurin, and B-Rob and Eckler, the two-headed running back machine that they're going to have there. But other than that, I don't see Daniels.
Zach Ertz.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's deemed the starter, so we'll see what he's got left in the tank. But I don't see a lot of throwing upside for Daniels this week. And obviously he's going to bank on points for the rushing upside, but Tua could potentially get some rushing. Not a lot. He's not a big runner, so I'm not counting on that for him. But I'm counting on a ton of yards from him in the air. He's got dynamic, very good receivers in one of the best in the game in Hill. And, Waddle, we talked about him earlier in the offseason, how, both of us agree that he's going to turn it around this year. So, or we think he's going to turn it around. I'm leaning to it just for the safer bet.
I will say this. I mean, like you do have to kind of worry, like if Jacksonville falls flat, which it's very easy for them to do. Like, we saw it a few times last year that Miami just takes their foot off the pedal and just hands the ball off a lot. So that's the other worry too. Yeah. So like you expect Washington to get behind in this game and have to pass more and have to drop back Daniels more, which means more scrambling opportunities. That's where I'm going with this one. So
yeah. All right. Fair enough.
All right. On to the next one. We got another rookie involved. Caleb Williams in his debut against the Titans. Or Dak Prescott against a very formidable opponent, the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. AJ, you get to go first.
Oof. I mean, I'm interested to see what Dak's gonna do, but I think I like Williams in this matchup. Actually, you nailed it with the fact that Cleveland's defense is no joke, and Dak could be running for his life, not in a good way, for fantasy purposes here. With that front line from Cleveland coming after him. Plus CeeDee Lamb is still trying to get worked back up.
Yeah.
That's a big knock, I think. I can't imagine he won't play, but he might be on like a limited snap count until he really gets his act together because of his holdout. So I like Caleb. I like his weapons. And again, like Daniels, I'm excited to see what he can do with this first game. And I think he's got a better matchup than Daniels as well. So I like Williams.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm going Caleb. I want nothing to do with Dak against the Cleveland Browns with a, as you mentioned, CeeDee Lamb not going to be fully CeeDee Lamb this week, in my opinion. It's just this is the lowest point total on the weekend of games here. So, and the Browns are favored. So there you go. It's like all pointing down for Dak in this one.
Yeah. Speaking of, did you happen to catch the post?
I did. The Facebook thing. That was hilarious. I actually saw that scroll by my Facebook feed and I just didn't click on it. I'm glad you resent it because that was fantastic.
That was gold for everybody who's not a Cowboys fan. It would be appreciated. So
they would laugh too.
Oh,
and at the Tomlin, he would laugh.
So,
all right. Well, you hear to hear, folks. Joe's wanting to start 2 rookies over 2 established veterans in week 1.
Turning a new leaf.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Midlife crisis.
New year, new Joe. All right.
All right.
Come on, I already gave you rank number 1. Let's do this.
Move on to the running backs here. Hopefully you have some trouble picking these ones out because when I looked at them, these guys are pretty close in your rankings, if I remember correctly. You got Kenneth Walker the third against Denver, Joe, or James Cook versus Arizona?
I'm going James Cook. Arizona still has the weaker defense for sure, and I think especially early on while Buffalo is still figuring out this passing offense, James Cook is going to be heavily involved. I just don't know if week 1 Josh Allen is going to, in crunch time, feel confident with that cast of receivers that he has. So, again, I think it's just more, it comes down to it's defense and opportunity at this point. I do like Kenneth Walker. Like, he's definitely startable. Don't get me wrong, but he's got the slight worse of a matchup, and we all want to think that Seattle's going to run more plays with the new coaching staff there. They probably will. They were the slowest paced team last year, but just how much more are they going to pass the ball, or how many more plays are they going to run? Is still a question mark. We still have to wait and see.
Yeah. I'm with you on this one. I definitely like Cook over Walker this week. Arizona's defense, it's a Jonathan Gannon defense. So I'm used to seeing that in Philly and how much heat he took for how bad he was. But then you look back at last year and you're like, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as we all thought. But I still think that team's got a long way to go talent-wise to really pick things up. And I definitely agree with the passing issues, the conundrum that we're seeing in Buffalo right now. It's not great. So I like Cook over Walker. I do still like Walker this week too. I wouldn't by any means bench him, but if you're choosing between these two guys, which is how we have this set up, I'm taking Cook over Walker.
Agree.
All right. We'll move on to the next one here. We got Kyren Williams against Detroit in Detroit, or Rachaad White versus the Commanders. AJ, you got the floor.
I think I'm leaning White on this one. I mean, both of these guys I feel like are a weird ankle twist away from not having a good game. Sorry if I just put my voodoo on.
Isn't anybody?
Well, yes, but these
Right.
two especially, I feel like are, fragile. And I think Detroit's defense is more legit than Washington's. Washington lost a lot of pieces last year, so and not that they were great last year to begin with, but then they took the pieces away, and it's like, oh, great, okay, now we're even more of Swiss cheese. But I do like White. I think he has a better opportunity to shine ahead of Williams in this one.
I agree. Lions are legit, man. I really do think they're legit. I do think Kyren Williams is going to have a pretty solid game, but I'm going to take Rachaad White. He may not get the volume he had last year, but everything we heard from the Tampa Bay Bucks guy that we interviewed is saying that the offensive line is massively improved. So maybe his efficiency goes up a little bit, but at this point, like, Rachaad White's probably, I still think he is far and away the guy who's going to see, the work in that backfield right now. So give me Rachaad White against the Bliss Commanders right now. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
How dare you besmirch Kyren Williams? He's already been besmirched becoming a punt returner. But okay,
whatever.
We'll move on. We'll move on to the fun part.
It's not our fault. All right.
No, it's definitely your fault, AJ. If you're putting your bad voodoo on him.
Yeah. You kind of.
I know. I
Oops.
drafted Kyren Williams in one league, man. Don't kill him already, dude. Come on.
I'm trying not to. We'll see. Maybe it's a new year for my voodoo too. We'll see. I doubt it.
Crossing our fingers, knocking on wood. All right, moving on to the wide receivers. This one's the fun one, in my opinion. You get to start 2, sit 1. Joe, you get to lead us off with another rookie, Marvin Harrison Jr. at Buffalo against the Bills. Oh, look at that, another rookie. Malik Nabers versus the Vikings. And then why not throw in, at least something involved with a rookie. DJ Moore with a rookie QB against the Titans. Who you starting, who you sitting?
You did this on purpose, didn't you?
I involved all rookies in this one.
Pretty much.
I'm starting both rookies, unfortunately. It is.
We got a youth
super
movement
close.
going on here.
Like I am
guys.
talking like fractional of a point difference between Nabers and DJ Moore. So if you want to go safer and go with Moore, I'm all for it. But Harrison is the clear winner here. His talent is unquestioned. The opportunity he's going to get is unquestioned. Nabers, we know the opportunity is going to be there. It's a matter of how good is that opportunity. We've said that a lot before. Like, you can get a lot of targets, but how good are the targets, right? The quality of targets matter. And the quality of targets for Nabers is going to suck. We know this. Hashtag suck a Keith. There we go. We're just pulling out everything this week. It's awesome.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we are in mid-season form. Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore, I do, as much as I like Caleb Williams this week, DJ Moore is going to be in it's just crowded there. Keenan Allen is, even though he's not quite what he used to be, is still really good. They got a lot of options in the running game, and I think they will lean on that running game a lot, actually. Cole Kmet's around, there's just a lot there, and DJ Moore is the best of the group, but at how much do you trust him to explode? I don't know. I felt like last year it was like he just took a bunch of screams to the house half the time, and maybe he will again, but that's tough to rely on. So
yeah,
I'll take the 2 rookies this week.
I'm gonna go Harrison, but I think I'm gonna go DJ Moore over Nabers. It's close though. Minnesota does suck, so it hurts.
That's the other thing.
It hurts to say that, but that's gonna be just such a ridiculous game because both of those teams are just not projected to do well this year, and so Harrison, I'm definitely in on him. DJ Moore, I'm taking the safer bet there. I do think the targets will be there for Nabers, but I just don't know what's going to happen in that game. It could be either a ridiculous shootout with a ton of points, or it could be like a 5-3 game. So I'm gonna go with the safe.
5-3. Wow. This is baseball. Don't tell Bob Harris.
I know.
If you didn't catch that episode, go watch the start of the Bob Harris episode. That was
I was thinking about that earlier because I was watching the Phillies game as they took out the Marlins earlier, and at the end of the game, I heard an Eagles chant, and I'm like,
"Oh no!"
Hey, you're in Miami, so okay, I get it, but the Phillies are now officially the first place NL team. Sorry, first place NL team, and you're doing Eagles chants at the game. Come on! And there was only 12 people at the game, anyways, so 7 of them were doing an Eagles chant. It was pretty funny.
Awesome.
I digress. Who's next?
Eagles rant number 1 for AJ. How about that?
I mean, leave it to him to somehow fit the Phillies
somehow bring in
week 1.
I know, right?
That's right.
I don't know how you do it, AJ, but I
am
applaud
just
you.
that good.
I applaud you, and I'm shocked by Joe and his youth movement over there. But all right, he's turning over a new leaf. We'll give you an easier one this time. AJ, you got to lead us off though.
All right.
Next one we got is Brandon Aiyuk against the Jets, DK Metcalf against the Broncos, or T. Higgins against the Patriots. Lead us off.
Oof. Well, I know I pashad the Kenneth Walker barely, but I will take DK for sure. And I am going to take T. Higgins in this one. Jets defense is legit. Aiyuk will probably see, his fair share of Sauce Gardner coming his way at some point. I just, I know he got his contract, so he's happy. I think that game could be, again, another like shootout, low scoring shootout, if that's really kind of a thing. I feel like that's an oxymoron.
Nope.
But
Yeah. Okay.
But
as long as you realize that.
yes, of course I realize it. But I think the Jets can take that game too, honestly.
Ooh, stay tuned for more of that.
Yes, but I like Metcalf and Higgins this week. Just matchups are definitely much better.
I agree with you on Metcalf. I am 50-50 on Aiyuk and Higgins. They are back-to-back in my half PPR rankings. I am a little bit more concerned. So this is something to keep an eye on. This could give you the answer pretty easily. T. Higgins has a hamstring injury right now. They're saying it's super minor and that he feels good. We'll see. Higgins could be a huge beneficiary of Chase, not practicing and not really being in super great shape for the game, right? Kind of like Lamb, right, for the Cowboys. But Higgins is far better than any other number 2 option that the Cowboys have. So, we said it all offseason. Higgins last year was going, like wide receiver 1A, right? He was like the extension of the, wide receiver ones. He was like wide receiver 13 or 14. There was Waddle and him, and everybody was like, yeah, and Devonta Smith. It was like 1, 2, 3. They were like the extension of that first 12 receivers. And because he had, bad quarterback play and, he was a little banged up, like he dropped like a rock. I think it was a mistake. I tried to grab him everywhere, but I'm in a lot of savvy leagues, unfortunately. So, but man, I want to go him, but I am a little concerned with that. San Fran is just so good at finding ways to get points, man. I just believe in them, and Aiyuk, I think is gonna try to go out there and prove everybody wrong. Yeah. So
I can definitely see that.
We do have a question here from Patrick. Any suggestions for an IR stash? Mitchell or Purcell? I'm not really big on either one of those guys. I'm trying to think.
There was
Kendrick Bourne.
Bourne would be
New England.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He was always like, I remember in a couple of drafts that I did, pretty deep drafts, he was sitting there at the very end, and I was like, oh man, I should grab him. And then like immediately, boom, somebody else grabbed him just to slide him in the IR spot. And I was like, I wish I had realized that like a round earlier when I'm already picking like garbage. I don't love the Patriots offense at all, but Bourne was good last year until he got hurt, like really good. But like, I don't see why he can't do anything. He can't at least get close to that again. And Brissett is going to be there, and he's not bad. Like we've seen Brissett do well and carry good fantasy receivers before. So I would stash him if he's available, Patrick.
Yeah, either him or another one I like is Kendre Miller.
I worry about him, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if his injury is going to keep him out longer than the 4. I feel like it could, but if you didn't draft somebody that you already knew you were going to stash, like a Hawkinson, or now you can put potentially Hollywood Brown, obviously, before tonight.
If he's somehow available, he's the IR stash, but I'm guessing he got drafted. So that's why I did not say him.
Yeah, so I still like Bourne, though, tops as well.
Yeah. There's a couple other guys, but nobody really like big that, I think can make a big difference. Got put on the IR outside of like the guys who were probably drafted. So one more question here. Didn't get a top 12 tight end. Best tight end to target after that in full PPR. Top 12. I don't know. I mean, you could take a chances with like a Taysom, like that's kind of up and down. You're gonna like roll a dice every week with him, but like the weeks he goes off, you're gonna like win because he's gonna give you 25 points. Like it's just he's nuts like that.
Yeah, I would say a Taysom, maybe a Chig or Zach Ertz.
Dalton Schultz is down there, like
Hunter
he's
Henry.
solid.
I mean, there's a lot.
Hunter Henry's like a tight, like a touchdown dependent tight end in that range.
Yeah.
There's a couple decent dudes down there, but those are some guys. Jonnu Smith, it's like super deep that you just don't know. Like Miami's the last couple of years hasn't really used our tight ends a lot, but I mean Jonnu Smith is both a good blocker and a good pass catcher. So like he could really fit with that. That was the problem with Gesicki was he couldn't block, so like they just didn't like to use him. So that was interesting. And then I've got this is up your alley, AJ. Got Cincy's defense for the first few weeks. Someone in my home league dropped the Jets. Where do you see them ranked and worth picking up?
Absolutely worth picking up.
I mean,
I specifically wherever I drafted the Jets, if I reached earlier to get them, which I did in a couple of leagues, Cincy was one of my go-to backups. Seattle was another one of my go-to backups. A lot of these matchups, Cincy, Seattle, like through the first 5-6 weeks are perfect because they offset with like good game versus tough matchup.
It's hard to roster two defenses.
It is.
The Jets
because there was a lot of guys I wanted.
So good.
There's a lot of guys I wanted to pick up and didn't.
It
because
really
I'm
is.
Like, I can't drop one of my first two defenses. But I would definitely get the Jets defense, and then
it just sucks because you can't play them this week against San Fran. It's hard, man. Like
again, like I just said,
I feel like they're going to be good defenses,
game, but the very interesting thing, and it was discussed on WIP this morning, Eagles radio station that I listened to. Their morning show was talking about this game and how they're looking at it, and Hassan Reddick. If the Jets somehow pull off this win this weekend and Hassan's not there, he's screwed. So it just further diminishes his case. But I'm hoping that he gets his head right and decides to suit up and play for them at some point this season, because he's only going to help that defense. But they are a very good defense beyond that. So
I agree. It's tough to roster both of them though. Like I don't know. It's a tough. I'm a big I'm just going to stream defense guy. Like I would ride Cincy for a while and then drop him for whoever's playing the Patriots every week kind of thing. That's the kind of deal I'm doing. I was lucky to get Cincy in one league. I've got the Bucks in another. I've got the Bears in another one. Like I'm just riding the streamable defenses in week one. Everybody else reached on like the 49ers and the Ravens like a round or two earlier than me. And I was like, have fun, guys. That's not how I do it. So, all right. I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Last wide receiver question here. Joe, Diontae Johnson against the Saints in New Orleans, Calvin Ridley at Chicago against the Bears, or Terry McLaurin against the Buccaneers? All wide receivers with new QBs.
Oh my God. You literally picked my 34th, 35th, and 36th ranked receivers. So, I mean, I don't care. I mean, I've got it, McLaurin, Johnson, Ridley, but like, I mean, honestly, this could be the type of thing where projections just move slightly on a couple of these guys and like it totally flip flops. This is a true coin flip, man, for me. Right now, like I said, I've got McLaurin, Johnson, Ridley. I'll just stick with that for now, but check the rankings on Sunday. You never know. It might change. I mean, they're all kind of in the same boat. Like I think McLaurin is probably the better of the three receivers. Diontae Johnson's probably number 2, and then Ridley's the third out of that group. I don't know. Shut up.
That's why I have that comment there. I can reuse it.
All right.
Or can I put this user in timeout?
I wonder what happens.
I'm not going to do it.
Like I feel like I agree. It's definitely a coin flip. I would lean definitely starting Diontae. And the Saints are a pretty good defense too. I think that's a really good matchup. Like they're another streamable defense this week. But I know Diontae's been getting a lot of action, in off-season games and practices and stuff. So I really like that combination with him and Bryce Young. Yeah, so I mean, I would definitely start Johnson, and I think either one. Yeah, just check the rankings on Sunday because it's a coin flip. If I had them, man. Yeah, if I had them, I think I would just hedge my bets like between leagues if I had multiple leagues where I'd have these guys. But I'd probably give McLaurin the slight edge over Ridley. Well, I say that. Hopkins is also questionable, so Ridley could end up getting a little bit more action, but McLaurin's probably going to get all the action. Yeah, leave it. I don't know. Too close. To
AJ Applegarth. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Diontae Johnson and somebody else. Neither.
And I'm going to crack open another beer after that one.
Yes. I'm just confused.
All right. We'll move on.
I'm literally dead. I went from double zombies to zombie dust. So
I did you a favor, AJ. I snuck an Eagles player in here for you.
No. We want to end the show at some point.
Bug flew into my double zombie, so I'm very upset.
He's not even paying attention.
I am paying attention. I can multitask.
You
snuck in Dallas Goedert.
Yes, sir. Tight ends. Brock Bowers, the rookie, against the Chargers in LA, or Dallas Goedert versus the Packers tomorrow night in Brazil. AJ, go.
I mean, I'm biased, but I'm going Goedert, and I think it's more because Brock is slightly injured. I believe he was on the injury report earlier today, but I would assume he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, actually, I kind of like Bowers. I think the matchup is better. The Chargers are kind of a train wreck. about to happen, maybe that already did sort of happen. We just don't know what we're getting with them yet. New coach, new schemes, new everything on offense, but obviously this is the defense we're worried about. But I think LV drafted Bowers to be a prominent fixture in that passing game with Devonta Adams. So I'm actually going to lean Bowers. I'm going to surprise you because I think that he's got more opportunity to have a big game.
How do I comment and say AJ's not a homer somehow?
He thinks he can reverse jinx his way out of this.
AJ's a traitor. Jeez.
A traitor? There's a lot of mouths to feed in Philly.
I'm going Goedert. I can't trust Bowers quite yet. I mean, I know we had some.
You trust every other rookie.
We had phenomenal rookie tight ends last year, but I'm not ready to
he's
be
talking about
we're all in on rookie tight ends.
He's talking about the show. Every other rookie he put in
here.
I
get it. I know. I said, the rookie receivers have been a thing for a while. The rookie tight ends have been not a thing for a lot longer till last year. So I'm not ready to just be like, hey, this is going to happen. No, not quite. Not yet. Not in Vegas. It's just the quarterback play is bad. The offensive line is bad. It's bad everywhere with that team. So not there yet. I'm not huge on Goedert. Angelo Goedert has screwed me too many times. Yeah, I get it. I'm not a big fan of his either. AJ's right. There are a lot of mouths to feed there, including Jalen Hurts, who is going to try to do his thing. Saquon doesn't help that either. I honestly don't really think either one has a great game, but if I had to choose one, it's Goedert.
All right.
So, all right.
That's my initial get, but all right. Whew.
I think that's it.
Did you put yours in for this, Joe?
I did. Oh, I did not do my MVPs.
I would, or your.
Well,
yeah, the teams are right. All right.
Let's do. And all right. Well, let's do the teams first, then, and then we'll do the awards. So I have time to think about that. I don't know. I totally forgot. So, all right. So we're going to do our NFL predictions for the season. I know we have a game going on right now, but let's be real. Nothing's happening. Nothing is being truly affected by the Chiefs and the Ravens playing each other right now. We know both teams are good. No matter which one loses, probably not going to knock them out of, our thoughts as to who's going to perform. But that being said, we're going to go through the division winners, and then we're going to say the teams that are going to face off in the Super Bowl and our ultimate winner. And then we will give our MVP and our rookie of the year. So, AJ, I'm going to let you go first with AFC East division winner.
Welcome to Miami. Ambiambo, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the hell that thing is. But, yeah, I'm going with the U.
What?
Not the U, but I hate them. But I think this is the safest team. I know we've been talking about some of the other teams in this division, but Tua, I expect to still have a top 12-ish fantasy finish. The receiving core there is phenomenal. The running backs are phenomenal. It will be interesting to see how the defense rebounds after losing Fangio. And they had a bunch of injuries at the end of that end of the season last year too that really hurt them down the stretch. But I think that they are playoff bound, and I think it's gonna come down to the division matchups. But I think they have the edge.
Yeah, this one came down to two teams for me, and one of them was Miami, but I'm ultimately going with the Jets. This is obviously assuming Aaron Rodgers is healthy the whole year, but I do think they have the talent there to really keep it going. We know the defense is legit. They just have to have a capable offense, in my opinion, to win this division. And I do think the Jets could make some noise in the playoffs too. I really do.
I was very close to taking them as well, but I wanted to pick someone else since you had them. But it's close.
It's not like we talked to each other before the show.
No, we didn't. But I think it's close for me. I think one of these two teams will win. The other will be a surefire wild card team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, all right, who you got for the North?
This was a tough one too. I really wanted to go back to Cincy, but that's who I picked last year. Then obviously the Burrow injury just crushed that. They were my Super Bowl pick too. I'm going back to Baltimore, man. I do think, obviously we know their defense is top notch. They are losing right now, but their defense is one of the best. They've got the returning MVP. They've got we think, healthy Andrews, although he's not doing a whole lot right now. But then you bring in Derrick Henry, man, and that's a game changer on offense, in my opinion. I know they had a great running game before, but this is another level. Assuming King Henry is even 80% of what he was at his prime, it's gonna be massive for that run game. So give me Baltimore in a very tight NFC North.
I agree. I'm taking Baltimore. I'm hoping that they continue their success from last year, and I can see them potentially getting to the AFC Championship again if the playoff cards fall in their favor. They could be a Super Bowl team. It'd be hard to get past KC. Obviously, they're having trouble with it tonight, but there's still plenty of time left. They're on the move, and we'll see what happens. But I like Baltimore.
All right, AFC South.
AFC South, I am going with the horseshoe. Going with Indy. Assuming Richardson stays healthy for a full year. Obviously, I'm a big Shane Steichen believer. I think this team has the talent to get through. Jacksonville's kind of fallen off. Houston was good last year as well. They're tough, but Tennessee, I'm not too worried about. So I think it's going to kind of come down between Indy, Houston. I'm hedging with Indy.
So I did not have Indy in the mix with this division. I do think they are a third place team in this division still. I do think it's between Houston and Jacksonville. I do think Jacksonville has a little bit of a bounce back from last year. I just believe in Trevor Lawrence too much. Maybe it's just a false sense of hope. I don't know, but Houston is my winner here. Look, they brought in Diggs, they brought in Mixon, just two steady vets who, maybe a little bit past their prime, but on a young team like this, you kind of need guys like that. And you can see it right away. They named Diggs the captain. So to where typically a quarterback or something like that, I bet Stroud is one of the captains, but they named Diggs a captain. And that just to me shows that they are believing in his hard for me to say this about Diggs, but they are believing in his leadership and the fact that he has success. The defense is improved. It really is. It's much better than people think. It really is. Just listening to Steve Montgomery talk about some of the IDP players that Houston has, I do think that they're going to surprise some people.
Yeah, I was leaning Houston, but again, I think Indy, if Richardson's healthy, he puts it together. Again, I think it could be a tight division. Jacksonville, they could be up there. I didn't really think much into the bounce back. I just kind of was recency biased with that. But Dougie P, obviously a Super Bowl winning coach, so I got nothing but love for him. All right, let's go west. I think this one will be a pretty quick one.
Yeah, probably not a lot here. Kansas City, this division sucks. Kansas City's it. I'm done.
Vegas.
Yeah,
mustache. Just kidding. It's KC. Give me the barbecue and all of the fixins. That's enough said there. NFC East. Haven't had a repeat division winner for like 20 some years now, 20 or 21. So I think that will remain. And I'm going back with my homeboys, the Birds.
Yeah. I'm going Philly also. I just, man, that end of the season was disastrous for them and like kind of sad to watch. It's like, what the hell's happening? You know, as much as I don't like the Eagles, watching them let the Cowboys take that division was even worse. I was like, oh no, what is happening here?
Yes.
So yeah, Philly. I think Philly's going to bounce back and be a little more consistent this year, and take that division because I do think the Cowboys struggle a little bit this year with offensive line, and that run game is not going to, the lack of a run game is not going to help them. And then the defense is good, but they're very they're just opportunistic. They get a lot of turnovers and they kind of rely on that. But when they aren't getting those, they can be scored on pretty easily. And so I do think that can be they're going to be a solid team. Don't get me wrong, but Philly's going to take this one.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the NFC North. Who you got? Who you like?
I'm going back to Detroit. I really like this team, man. The defense was vastly improved last year. This offense is just incredible to watch. I mean, they actually turned Goff into like a half-decent quarterback, man. He looks good, man, especially when they're indoors and they have a lot of indoor games this year. So Detroit's going to be my team to take this division. I do think Green Bay is going to be very, very good. And I think the Bears are going to be, decent, but just not there yet. But Detroit's going to edge this division out, which I think will be very close and hotly contested.
Yeah, hotly contested because Green Bay's taking it. Sorry. Detroit's a great story. And I really like what they've done. I love Dan Campbell as the, no bullshit, no excuses coach. I think he's done wonders for that team. They are a very talented team. But I think Green Bay is they're going to be a team to make some noise this year. And, there's some things they still need to work on. Defense, obviously, I think will be interesting to watch and track. But if that offense is rolling with the way that they did towards the end of the last season and into the playoffs, I think they can build on that, and I like them to take the division this year.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought it was going to be close, but let's go over to the South. What you got?
South, I am going with Nolans. I don't know why I'm putting my trust in Derek Carr, but I think that defense. I mean, this is going to be the putrid division that it is yet again this year, and I just think that somebody's going to have to come out on top, and I think that it's going to be New Orleans. I think Carr can do just enough to be successful enough to help lead the team. They're going to rely on their defense. And I think Taysom Hill is going to be an interesting wild card, even more so than what we've already seen. So he's going to be involved in as a tight end, as a quarterback, as a running back, as a gadget guy, as whatever they need him to do. And I think it's going to be interesting. What did I call him? Taysom Inspector Gadget Hill the other day.
Yeah.
The other show. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Going with New Orleans.
I'm going to Atlanta. Bring back the Dirty Birds.
Yeah. All right.
You got to love the fact that they have a new coaching staff. They brought in Kirk Cousins. We all like every offensive option on this team, right? We're all back in on Bijan, full steam ahead. Drake London getting a lot of hype. Even Kyle Pitts is back in. Like, we're going to give him one more chance. The defense was pretty damn good last year. Like, it really was. And they added some pieces, man. They made some trades late. I really think that this is going to be a really solid team. I don't think they're going to go very far in the playoffs, but I do think they will win this division and probably get bounced like round one, honestly.
Yeah.
But there we go.
All right. West. Is how the West was won yet again. Same.
Yeah. This is San Fran. I just don't think there's a whole lot of competition there for them. There had to be a lot of injuries for San Fran to lose this one, and they've got the guys to get injured. They've CMC and these guys all get injured quite a bit, but they seem to power through. And it's San Fran. This is almost like KC. It's like KC and San Fran. It's like whatever, move on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on board with that. I mean, I think the Rams could maybe put up a fight, but I think that it's clearly going to be San Fran. So, all right. That said, what are we doing for the Super Bowl? Who are your teams and who's your winner?
So I'm going Lions against Kansas City. We're gonna get another Mahomes Super Bowl opportunity. I'm going Lions, though. I do think the Lions could do it. It's a bit of a shocker, but I just love the direction that team's going in, man. They are a gritty team, but they can open it up on offense as well. Like, it can happen. I really do think.
We have our teams' divisions the same, but we have our output is different. I'm gonna go KC over Green Bay. I was tempted to actually say the Lions because I do think the Lions will be in the playoffs, so they could still get there. Now, obviously, the Super Bowl I want would be Philly-Baltimore, but
gosh, I would die.
It's hard.
I live too close to both areas, and I have too many friends that would be insufferable for me.
Yes, exactly. Part of why I want it to happen, but I think it's so hard. It's so hard to pick them. But if we're picking solely on division winners, I think
talking about unsufferable, Mike LaPlante would be unsufferable if Green Bay made it that far. Gosh, you think AJ's bad? You think AJ's bad when Philly makes it that far? Mike wouldn't shut up.
I'm unbiased when it comes to the Packers. Come on,
liar. Liar. Anyway. All right, let's do predictions for the awards. And the only awards that we do, because they're somewhat fantasy relevant here, is MVP and Rookie of the Year. Let's start with Rookie of the Year, AJ.
You could do Offensive Player of the Year. That's fantasy relevant.
Offensive Player of the Year?
Touche. They do have that award.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, all right. Let's go for it. All right, I got one for that too. I like that one. Go.
For what? For Offensive Player of the Year?
Let's do Rookie of the Year, then Offensive Player of the Year,
Rookie of the Year,
and MVP.
All right, Rookie of the Year. I'm going Jayden Daniels.
Thought about it. I did. I thought about it a lot.
I think that we talked about it with the guys from Parlay. I'm on board with them. It's got to be Jayden. I think he's going to have the opportunity.
I forgot about that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I completely forgot about it. And remember, look who I picked.
I know. That's why. That's why I was.
So obviously, I did not pick Jayden Daniels. I picked Caleb Williams. The main difference here to me, I think, when you just look at raw fantasy numbers, I think Jayden Daniels is probably going to have a better fantasy season only because he's going to run more and that kind of stuff. But a better NFL season, producing more wins for his team is going to be Caleb Williams. And it may not have anything to do with Caleb Williams actually being better than Jayden Daniels. It may not really be. It's the fact that he's got a much better team around him. And so that's going to help him deliver the Rookie of the Year. Dark horse for all of this is obviously Marvin Harrison. I mean, he could just have a crazy good rookie receiver season, and neither one of these guys gets it. Very possible, but I am leaning quarterback like the NFL usually does with this award.
Yeah, I was gonna
say usually. So, all right, Offensive Player of the Year. Want me to go first, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say Tyreek. It feels boring, but he's explosive. I'm gonna go Bijan, man. I think Bijan could have a real nice year, man. I'm talking 80, 90 catches, 1,500, 1,600 yards rushing, 15, 16, 17 touchdowns. I really do think he could be awesome. I thought about so many times just bumping him up and up and up my rankings, but it's hard to put him, that high over guys that or have done it before and can do it again. He hasn't done it yet. We think he can. I want to see him do it first before I put him over top of those guys. But the opportunity is there for him, and the talent is there for him. Absolutely, we've seen it. So we're all together.
Man, I like the pick. I definitely do. I'm leaning. I really want to lean Derrick Henry, but I think it's going to be Breece Hall. If the Jets can get it all together, he's going to be a massive piece of carrying that offense, or helping to carry that offense. And I just think he can have an explosive year. He, like Henry, is really the main bell cow back for that team. The guys behind him are rookies and a sophomore, player. Henry has guys who are established and have been with Baltimore, but at least one in Justice Hill. But I just like Breece Hall this year. I think he's going to just have a really special year. So he's my pick.
All right. MVPs. What you got? I have a tough time picking MVP, man.
Yeah, it's hard to go against basically the newly anointed GOAT in Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of have to go there, but
I mean, that's what I did.
I don't want to.
There's a bunch of other guys that are in the conversation,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think Lamar's obviously there again.
Lamar's
I think
there.
Burrow, if he stays healthy, can be there.
Like Hurts could potentially be there, but it depends on their season. I mean, hell, Stroud could
Yeah, he
get
was a
his
guy that I
name in the
considered.
discussion. There's a lot of like that would have been a better question. Like, not who's the MVP, who are like the runner-ups going to be? Like, name your top 3 runner-ups.
Every other top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
tough
think
it's tough to beat out Mahomes. I'll say, man, like, you know, I'm looking at the box score and like they're winning, but he's literally doing nothing. It's not him. To his credit, he doesn't have to do anything. He did throw a pick, though. I mean, he's got 223 yards and
what if it's
2 touchdowns
Kelsey?
or rushing touchdowns?
What if Kelsey becomes the MVP? Has there ever been a tight end MVP?
No. We're gonna go with a no on that one. So no way.
I don't know. It's the Swiftyisms. So, all right. Well, I think
That's it.
I think that's all we got for today.
But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I know we had some news that we would possibly talk about, but really nothing noteworthy at this point. You know, we know Aiyuk signed. We know Trent Williams finally signed. We know Lamb got his. We know Chase is practicing again finally. So everybody's back. CMC is still on the injury report, but he's going to be on it all year long. He's playing. You know, so right now it's just, you know, 3 dudes down. Good job. Way to make a decision, AJ. And you put that for your MVP pick. You finally wrote it down.
Well, I have him on top. So
okay. But anyway, so yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. But I mean, like week 1, as we always say, don't get cute. Play your guys that you drafted first. You know, maybe with your flex spot, play a little matchup base. With your wide receiver 3 spot, maybe do the same thing. But for the most part, you know, you're playing your studs. You're playing the guys you trusted to draft that early, and you know, you just let it fall how it falls. It's a long season. You can make up ground quickly, you know, off the waiver wire, and we will stay tuned to Fantasy Six Pack for a bunch of excuse me. Yeah. We're gonna have waiver wires and drop lists and obviously week 2 rankings, week 1 rankings already. So jump over there to get all of that information to let us help you win your leagues. So, on that note, enjoy week 1, everyone. Football's back. And have a good one. Peace.
Later.